Hi, Professor Agro. My name is Lehan, and my advisor is Dr. Mohammed Adati. And this is my paper presentation is about the applications of connected workload data in crash risk evaluation. So first of all, is the overall logic of my presentation. So now this presentation focuses on the applications of novel connected workload data in crash risk evaluation studies, and a total 13 relevant studies from 2019 to 2022-23 were included and systematically reviewed. And from the reviews, three types of CV data were included in this study, including the floating or probe workload data, the CV data, and the smartphone data. And three research gaps was proposed for the existing data studies. And finally, two, based on the review papers, two improvement suggestions was emphasized for the future applications of the CV data. So my presentation can be divided into these 6 parts. First of all is the background and motivation. Well, as we all know that crash risk evaluation studies aims to establish the relationship between traffic flow characteristics and the crash possibilities. Well, such models can predict the crash risk in a short time period on the road and can be served as a basic component of proactive traffic management system. Well, since these studies has been developed for 20 years, most of the existing studies use the fixed detectors data, for example, the lock detectors and the roadside radars. However, they have some disadvantages. For example, they are limited to fixed locations and can only provide the segment level traffic informations. And also, these detectors are installed on limited freeway systems, and they are rarely equipped in the urban outer roads and rural roads and so on. And also, their total cost of their installation and maintenance are very huge. So, but luckily, with the development of the connected workload techniques, well, now we can get the new CV data. For example, we can get the new data from the workloads, from the floating cars, and even from the in-workload diversities. Well, they have a lot of advantages. For example, they have much wider coverage and can be flexed to upend in all types of roadways. And also, they can provide non-aggregated and high-resolution driving behaviors information at each workload level. And also the overall cost is for them is very lower. Is very low as they doesn't need to install specific devices. Well, but until now, the existing reviews about the crash risk evaluations mainly focuses on the traditional fixed detector data, and there is still lacking the applications of emergent CV data. For example, I found such review papers about, but for example, the Rochard summarized the widely used traffic flow variables and compared their impacts on crash risk, but such features and characteristics were almost extracted from the lock detectors. Well, in 2018, Hassan and other people conducted a comprehensive review on the datasets and the modeling methods of existing crash risk predictions, but they only mentioned the advantages of applying CV data, but they didn't mention some specific studies of CV data. And in this year, Ali focuses on the review paper by Ali focuses on the applications of machine learning methods in the crash prediction field, but they didn't do a systematically introduce to the CV data. So until now, there is still no reviews on the CV data-based crash risk studies. So to fill that gap, the motivation of this paper is to found all the CV data-based studies in the field of crash risk evaluation, and then summarize the main categories of the used CV data. And also we will compile their model evaluation accuracies using some common used metrics. And also finally, we want to identify future directions and present some suggestions to such CV data-based studies. So we first conducted a systematical lecture review. First, we search the papers through some keywords, and then we do some filters based on their abstracts, keywords, and titles, and also their introduction, methodology, and conclusion. So after the paper searching and filtering, a total of 30 studies over the 5 years were selected as the relevant studies for our lecture review. And as we can see, the first paper was published by Wang, and they firstly utilized the floating car data to assess the crash risk on expressways in Shanghai. And as we can see, although the overall volume of relevant research remained very scale, but the number of such studies shows increasing trend. I think that's because the CV data has become easier to obtain now. So based on their data source, 3 types of CV data sets were utilized in this reviewed studies. First is the floating and probe workup data. Well, 3 studies used such data for crash risk evaluation and prediction. As we can see, they are using the floating car GPS data and electric vehicle GPS data, and also the probe vehicle traffic data. But only the speed related features were extracted in this paper, and they are still looking all information on their acceleration and other driving behavior informations. And also and another important data is the CV data. There are 6 studies about that. Well, the CV data are all collected from some CV data companies, and for example, such as the Visual and the Autonomo and InRix. And as we can see in such studies, for speed-related features and the driving behavior variables, for example, the braking and acceleration on the road were identified and extracted from the CV data, which can be used to improve the evaluation performance. And also, 3 studies use the smartphones data from the navigation software. They all come from China, and they all use the AutoNavi software data to conduct the research. As we can see, well, the risk driving behaviors such as sharp braking, sharp acceleration were identified from the smartphones, and then they used their frequency information. For example, the number of hard acceleration, hard braking for studies. And so also we compiled their model performance using the widely used metrics. Four metrics are used in those studies. For example, like accuracy, sensitivity, FAR, and SUC. As we can see, the best model is the Marshall and Arduino graph. They have the highest accuracy, high sensitivity, and AUC. But the worst model was seen in Zhang. They have a very low accuracy, sensitivity, and even AUC. But as we can see, the average model performance of those studies are not very bad, and the average accuracy and AUC are all over the 0.8. So such result indicates that the CV data can achieve the relatively high crash risk evaluation accuracy, and maybe they can do better than the traditional fixed detector data. But although they have achieved the good performance, there are still some lecture gaps. For example, they ignore the non-aggregated natures of the behaviors. As we know, the risk driving behaviors are highly non-aggregated, but the existing studies only use the aggregated features. For example, the frequency of such behaviors in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. There is still a lack of suitable models or methods to handle their non-aggregated features. And the second gap is the lack of ablation experience on CV with other datasets. In these studies, they think the CV data can improve the model accuracy, but the benefits of introducing such data haven't been clearly investigated. So the ablation experience should be conducted between these models with only risk driving behavior data, only traffic flow data, or using both of them. And also there is no exploration on the impact of CV data penetration. Well, existing studies use the CV data in such studies at different penetration rates, and some of them even didn't mention the specific value about that. So such situation makes it impossible to analyze the impacts of the CV penetration rates on the crash risk evaluation performance. So based on the research gap, I think two important suggestions should be addressed. For the first is we can improve the overall accuracy based on the high spatial and temporal resolution CV data. Well, as compared with the traditional traffic flow data, the CV data can be collected from each vehicle and even the smartphones, so they have a very high spatial and temporal resolution. Well, such features make them to precisely characterize the traffic flow status and sensitively capture the traffic flow fluctuations. So such features can be very helpful to improve the crash risk accuracy and timelines. And also, we need to develop the non-aggregated modeling methods for the driving behaviors in CV data. As we said, the human risking driving behaviors are the major causes of crashes. While in the CV data, we can get such driving behaviors informations, but such behavior are highly non-aggregated. Specifically, their locations are discretely distributed on the road, and they have a random and irregular time intervals. So rather than using their aggregated frequency informations as the model variables, I think it's important to develop some non-aggregated modeling methods to directly extract their non-aggregated features for improving the crash risk evaluation and understanding the crash causes. Well, that's my presentation. Thank you very much.